He appears. We've got Geralt of Rivia. Maybe? It's not the best one.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him too much.
We've got an old bald, not old. We've got an old man.
Looks like
with
we
a
got printing
S-Dot.
on first.
Nacho's just taking out some pre-game anger on the wall over here. Very aggressive.
Letting out his frustrations.
He
is
kills this guy in one
in
combo with
fact
his longsword.
the most toxic individual on the MORDHAU roster, so he does need to get some of that anger out on people as well.
Printer,
We'll
well
see
known
that
for his
shortly.
longsword insiders, gonna have to have a look at his innies.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of mixing up accels and delays in a pretty unpredictable way.
He's low on stamina.
Can we get a
and
bubble
he's-
check here on Printer?
Jizargo is here to commentate the rest of the match.
Evening
Jizargo
Guardian's
is a
Cleaver.
Khajiit from Skyrim.
Cleaver got knocked away.
Post Meridian, he moves his axe in such a way that it spins in.
Alright.
How does
And
pretty
Skull
well
goes for the
Skull there.
gamble there.
Like
Tries to
just-
gamble through the morph, but Good Evening excels it. Kills him.
Probably would have been.
They banned Grad Blue specifically.
I want to see some tourney, some contraband, and not sure. Probably Pit. I think Pit's an exciting map.
They ban
haven't seen
Camp.
anything.
They don't ban Taiga.
Yeah, if it comes, I don't think you should play Tiger if it comes to that. Should just keep
Well,
it.
if you just force the teams to fight on the lower part,
Yeah,
it's not too
exactly.
big of a problem.
I mean, I don't think
that's what-
these teams will be taken to role playing on Tiger, so it
But-
should be okay.
Even if you do play on the ground, it's not the best map.
True.
Okay, so Conquest is running 2 poleaxes and his right-hander. I guess going for those headshots with the poleaxes, and then EX, alt poleaxe, a maul coming from Post Meridian, and a greatsword. TBK, another person, much like Infernus, who have
So
never seen
is
play
this the
anything else.
semi or the grand final?
So this
right
is a
now?
semi-final.
Semi-finals.
And then
Good
after this,
shit.
we'll have the 3rd place match between the loser of this and future V-Sports.
Wonderful.
Pretty poor positioning at the start by
Oh,
eXemplar.
big duck from Skull. He's getting caught by those swings though. Nacho just took him out with 3 hits.
Yeah, Nacho just 3-piece skull, got a fake switch off, and then comboed into a couple drags.
Jizargo is a sex symbol.
It's interesting to see a maul come out.
Yeah, not what you expect to see. This guy with the halberd is also not wearing any chest armor.
Good evening.
I can't remember which voice the "Good evening" line was from in Shiv. Which one was it?
I don't recall a line like
No,
that
it
at
wasn't
all.
I
the
think
one
there
in
was
Shiv.
one.
I swear there was
Sure,
a "Good
evening's
evening"
name
line.
is just a reference to the Good Evening meme.
Oh, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am.
What a shield.
Peter
and
and Short Spear?
Yeah.
Yeah, Skull takes
Oh,
down
great
a
double parry from
shoulder.
Good Evening there.
Oh man, these switches are really good from EX right now. Baiting them out with feints, easy
Not
stab.
showing a
from
moment,
man.
Gary.
Oh, such a
1v3
shame. The
Nacho.
field had just got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, the
Ganda.
one that everybody thinks is one of the best. And he gets poked in a
Shield
corner.
definitely a better pick than maul. Just so you can like delay people much more efficiently. Interesting to see. They're still running double poleaxe.
Do actually
And
see a
right-handed.
fireball. Just 3 jewels at the moment. We see a switch soon.
Whoa, 2 kicks from Nacho. Just
Big
obliterates
switch.
and then standalone.
Good Evening with some disgusting stab drags there on Skull.
Skull definitely a pretty great battle axe duelist. from how I've played against him. He's similar to Knight or Polan, if anyone in chat's familiar with that.
Where is Trix the best player of OCE?
He's too powerful for the tournament, so he's decided to step out.
Oh, Nacho with the stab drag.
Skull, very difficult position there. I think a 2v1 here is sort of viable, but once it gets to 3v1, they've just got such an advantage. It's very... I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if this is an intentional strategy here by CQ. They seem to be forcing 3 duels, and one of their players wins a duel very quickly and just moves on to other teammates.
Well, as someone who knows exactly what their strategy is from reading Discord, I'll just pretend I have no clue.
Okay.
But yeah, the double pole axes
Nice switch from post there.
are definitely intentional. Just to be...
Running in a 1v2 here.
Skull doing well. Just sit back and regen.
Losing his stamina. If they keep up the pressure, he's lost it. There it is.
Got no weapon.
But the thing with poleaxe is it's pretty viable as a support weapon. It's got pretty great range for a weapon like that of so few points, but it's still got 2-hit capability with the stabs.
If you're just jumping into the stream, this is the semi-final. The last semi-final.
CQ
Much
actually just
closer
got,
game than the last one.
They got
It's
taken out pretty quickly that
4-3.
round.
I think, especially the pick of shield by Post Meridium, it's something that I don't think anyone's very used to playing against.
Yes, it is 100% team damage. Kakarot.
Nacho has swapped to Halberd.
Oh man. Some crazy drags out from Printer in the middle. And a
Oh,
switch.
disgusting gamble by Skull. Nacho wouldn't be happy with that.
Printer doing well in this 2v1. Can't pull it off.
Oh, he survived for a long time there. He was stuck in the middle for a very long time.
I think CQ's got to adjust a bit here for the shield. They got to make sure they don't get stuck on him. Just use them for feeds and switch off to his teammates, because there's no point really just wailing on him. Like, you're not going to stem out shield in a team fight, really. Oh, his teammate takes out the shield for them there.
Yeah,
Shield guy
you
kind
can
of backed up on him. You couldn't really do much about that.
I guess they've decided their poleaxe strat isn't working. Good evening swap to war axe. Something I think is much more potent here.
Just got to mention, I just hit 500 followers. Very exciting.
Ah, congratulations. He has the big boy numbers on the internet now. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to spam his chat with his emote.
Oh, amazing by TBK there. Double kill.
Nice reads from Printer there.
A little bit of panic.
More
from
reading.
TBK.
He is low on stam though. He's got to get that kill. His teammate's trying to protect him.
It's a good 2v1. Printer doing
Printer's doing his
huge
best to
work.
get that kill
Got
off.
no stam.
But
and he
the
just
backstab's
there.
very hard to deal with there because they're just so rapid. But a very
Yeah,
nice
TBK
attempt.
TBK knew he was vulnerable there. He was one hit, so he was just backing up to try and not feed health and stam to Printer. And Printer was doing his best just to get the hit on to TBK, but his
And
opponent was
TBK did
protecting his
panic
teammate.
against one of Printer's feints, so if he'd been a little bit closer, it could have
Nacho just 3-hit Skull again with his big drags on the halberd. Very hard to read.
Yeah, I think Skull's advantage and disadvantage is that he is gambling a bit. I've seen him just chuck some underhands at random, which he out-dueled Nacho. Very impressive. But if Nacho is playing to kind of prevent gambles, as long as he keeps calm, he'll win every time.
This is match point for round 2.
Hello, Poland. Shout out to Poland watching the stream in 144p.
Shout out to Poland watching the stream 50 seconds behind.
Nacho in a 1v2 here.
You can almost
Predicts that miss very well,
You can
but
almost tell that there was a lot of communication happening there between Good Evening and Nacho.
6-6, very
Extremely
close. Match.
close. It is game point, not game point, match point.
Match point for round
the
2.
first
Good
map.
evening, swap
Very,
to evening
very
star.
close.
Good evening, star.
Oh,
Skull
and he's
takes out. Good
taken out.
evening.
Down to a
almost by
2v2.
Skull.
2v2, 1v2.
The shield
we
just
go.
got
Gets a good
confused
hit.
there.
Oh, it gets a bit
Nacho
panicky. Oh,
missing
good ducks.
a lot.
He's just getting poked from all sides. He can't do it.
Extremely close game.
Good match. This is getting tense, boys. This is getting very tense.
So, Conquest take the first game. This is still a best of 5. So,
I think
Got it.
Nacho dealt with the shield very well there that last round. He was fighting him, but then he quickly just switched off, killed his teammate, and then they 2v1 the shield. If you 2v1 a shield, it's pretty easy to deal with. It's just in the team fight, it's just such a distraction. They can just sit there and they don't really have to play Mordhau. They just sit there, press R&B, and just block everything. Can't just tunnel vision the shield.
yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, there would be no shields in the game. But it's in the rules, so you just got to deal with it and play as you
They
can.
are allowed at this point. Is there a limit, Jangle,
there's
on
one,
shields?
One shield.
Yeah, that's
One.
one player
Okay.
limit and 1 5-heart limit. I'm not sure if I agree with Goaty in the Twitch chat saying Skull should be an A. He is a great backs player, and I don't think like double great
Well, we
sword
see
misses.
Nacho going bust.
that's
The
all
only
right.
thing that Skull doesn't really have going for him is his dual capability, in my opinion.
I think the opposite in that like he's because Bax is like it's a good dueling weapon. It's just I think he's a bit tunnel visiony. It's hard to say. Printer.
Great kick punish from Printer.
He seems to get done in by drags quite a bit. Skull. That's what I've noticed.
Nice side stabs for Printer getting around the shield.
Yeah, really nice work there from Printer. That engagement.
I don't know if I agree with you saying he's scarier than Infernus. Like, I think Skull, he's a newer player as well. I think with more experience, he'd definitely be up there. But also consider further on in the competitive life cycle of the game, it's not going to be 3v3, it's going to be 6v6. So there's no such thing as a B team.
It's so interesting seeing this team of Conquest players, you know, like vibing together so well. Everything they do just seems calculated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
Definitely
they're all alpha
looking
players who've
to
played
They
together
look more
a lot.
comfortable now.
I think it'd be interesting to see if Post Meridian kind of picks up that shield's not working so well and he plays to swap it. I mean, he just stabbed his teammate in the face there.
Nacho is in a 3v1 there.
And it's going to be a struggle with Bastard Sword. Yeah.
Skull got off a big smack with the Evening Star at the beginning of that engagement.
Big smack.
The,
Couple
the
assists on
big
the board for
smack.
him. He does switch to the Anus Driller mode though. See if he sticks with it.
It's a shame Post Meridian doesn't really know the right way to use a firepot here.
And Nacho is just a scary fighter. Doesn't matter what weapon that man uses. Three and one.
Yeah, best strategy for
CQ
Nacho
up
seems
by
to be just
2.
force the duel, win that duel quickly, and then help
Yeah.
his teammates.
Exactly. If
Just
this
drop his
was
opponents
just
really fast.
3 1v1s, they'd definitely win. It's just up to if EX forced team play, it's a much closer game for sure. Oh, and Printer taking up very early with I think that was
Nice,
old
he's
evening
trying to get
star.
that. Rich, good evening. Communicating well with Nacho to let him know it's coming, but another thing with CQ and EX, they both have very good game sense across all their players. So a lot of it's probably kind of, you know, second nature. Whereas for a lot of us newer teams, knowing where the enemy are is one of the harder parts.
Yeah, and just talking about firepot tactics, if you throw it early and into the middle of them, all that happens is they split up. What's better generally is to try and throw it behind them and push them into it, or where they're not aware of it. And I had a lot of fun using it in a couple of scrims, just pushing people into firepots.
Printer in a 2v1
pretty
there,
much.
but this Evening Star guy is low. They both hit.
Double panic.
Oh,
That's a good
it's
hit on the
around the
shield.
shield
Another one.
twice.
Massive
Very well
drag.
done.
Sick play.
And Skull is low. It's just
Skull seems comfortable here.
I'll be looking for Printer to do some
There's
feint.
the
feint there.
Prince Sider.
Prince Rider.
Yeah, Skull tried to do a couple chamber feints on him, but Printer stayed calm, kept returning the chambers with more chambers, so the chamber feints weren't working at all, and great drags to get around that shield.
Any files now.
Yeah, ref, we need a bubble check on
Oh,
Printer here.
interesting pick from Good Evening. He's chosen Old Grip Longsword. Good kick punish. Skull's in trouble, just looking to switch.
I think Outgrit Longsword's definitely a good dual weapon. But I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
100%.
It's
That
very,
stab
very
is
hard.
He's in a
punishing.
3v1 now though. He calls the miss. Yeah, gets one kill. He gets taken
That was
out.
pretty big.
Good effort.
Very, very close game. 4-3.
If CQ nab this one, they're in the grand final, right?
No, it's best of 5.
Yeah.
It's the second match.
Oh, right, my bad.
Oh, Good
Evening's
Evening
gone
decided to switch
Halberd,
to
yeah.
Alt Halberd, which is what he's been practicing the most for this, which I understand. I guess CQ are forced to bring out their more meta loadout earlier than they were expecting. Because I wasn't expecting this to be this close. Very, very
5,000
well done
hours
by
versus
EXP.
800. I think these CQ players have about 4,000 hours combined. I'm not sure about these EX players.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the chat, Kebble. His father made this game, and he will get you banned.
Oh, good evening, stab dragging. TPK there. Yeah, it seems
CQ
the more
seeming to
split the
get-
fight is, the more comfortable CQ is, because just one of their players seems to always win that first duel.
Yeah, CQ
Pretty
definitely
quickly.
getting
Well,
a lot more comfortable.
Skull's definitely like he's taken the first duel a few times in one rounds because of that. Like I saw him take out Printer.
GamerDog92, what the fuck was that total biscuit? No.
Very succinct response.
It's back.
Because as I understand, Conquest's strategy was to bring out Good Evening's Halberd just for the final
yeah.
match. So the main EX team weren't expecting it at all.
CQ
But no,
need
Yeah,
one
as soon
more
as he
map.
switched to that halberd, just did tons of damage every fight, it seemed.
Oh, fellas, I hit level 57. I'm very excited.
Closer
Hell
to
yeah, dude.
59.
I'm level 57 too.
How many wins is
I don't
that
think
for
it's
CQ?
leaking our strats after the strats already been leaked. Like, I mean, I didn't say anything more than Good Evening switching to the Alt Halberd, which could have been doing the whole time. So it's game point. If Conquest win this game, they move on to the grand finals versus eXemplar A.
I just want to point out CQ Printer using the I just bought the game and counted up all of my money, saved it all, got the plume and all the most expensive armor kit. The flex on the noobs kit.
Printer bringing
It's a
out-
shame
is
that by this stage in the game, basically everyone who wants a plumed helmet has one. Back in the first week, plume was very cool.
It's second
A little
play
bit
AU,
of
by the way.
bit of fun trivia for you guys. The team known as TMK, the Meme Knights, one of the underdogs of the tournament. Their rule for joining their clan is that you can't own a plume.
You can't
That's a
own
very
it.
fair rule. It's a bit late for me. I was hoping to be picked up, but have to make a new account.
Printer actually got the first plume in Australia. And I got the second.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone know what level Tree is these days?
At least 130.
Oh, he was 130 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Getting back to the game though.
Yes.
Yeah. Conquest playing three 1v1s and just sort of waiting for someone to take the first pick.
They did start in 3 1v1s, but I did see Nacho switching off. Like there was like a 2. It turned into a 2v2 and a 1v1 basically, but the 2v2 they mopped up pretty quickly.
Good evening. Interestingly playing Zweihander. And Post Meridian
Right,
picking up
Maul
Maul again,
Maul.
which
It's two-shot.
I don't rate Maul that high. It's only good if you're flanking, really. And then TBK just caught in the middle. Pretty interesting to see Post Meridian swap off of shield after it was probably the reason they were winning so many rounds to begin with. So he swapped to ult battle axe. Oh, and Skull takes a duel, like I was mentioning before. TBK just spamming misses. Nacho kind of predicting it, but taking down.
Printer in a 1v3 now. Gets excelled.
And EXB take the first round. It's 3-1.
Three and 1, CQ up by 2.
Oh, pretty well done by Nacho there to punish Skull being way forward of his team. You really gotta stay together. And really well done by Nacho there also to just help out Printer. He was in the middle of his duel. Even though, yeah, he was already in the middle of a duel himself. Icicle kill win. If we got one, I'd be very excited, that's for sure. Get some true shoutcasting moment there.
We've had a pommel kill and we've had a medic bag kill. Can
Sure-
we get the
sure,
icing
good
kill?
evening.
Back kill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Someone was flesh wounded in evening. Just throw it at him. It's in the clips.
Pretty great chamber by TBK, reading that Good Evening was gonna delay there. And well supported by Post Meridian.
Nacho now in a
That's-
1v2.
EX doing a pretty awesome
A
job.
great
coming
drag
around.
by Nacho.
In a bad position there.
Oh, he ran in the middle. Pretty,
Nacho getting a little panicky there by the looks of things.
yeah,
He was
I
in
don't
a
think
really
it was a good
difficult
move for him to
position
run in
there.
the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, MORDHAU with 2 people on either side of you. It's a horrible position to be in. He got off a couple nice parry to parries, but couldn't really make much of the initiative he got. Tiny window.
I think he just ran into the middle because it was unexpected, but it's still just a weak position. Oh, good punish
Really
by
nice
switch
TBK.
there.
Yeah, TBK got a nice hit there. Lots of chambers. Oh, panicked Printer. 3v1 though. It's all over for him.
Good Evening had a really nice play there. He switched off, managed to get the target switch, and then turned back to the player he switched off. Caught another repost, target switched again. So just did so much damage. Switching
I
with
think
that big Zweihander.
I think what CQ do better about switching than most teams so far is that, well, same with EX as well, is it's still valuable to switch and get one hit in. You don't have to sit for the 2v2. You can get a hit in and just leave your jeweler with an advantage and then move on and try and help someone else or 1v1 somewhere else.
That's good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, Nacho with the tactical miss there.
Good
The
intentional
possible
misses
read
there
from
from
last
Nacho.
bullet.
Game point
Something
for CQ.
CQ do pretty well as well that I've noticed is they'll time their attacks really well when they're in a 2v1. A lot of teams at the newer end of the spectrum are very rush heavy.
Nacho just switched onto his
Nacho
teammate
switches
there.
on to Printer there.
Big spins by Skull, making the game look very fancy. I like it.
There we go.
Nice.
Not showing Printer sorted it out. 1-2 anyway.
So that,
Not
Good
sure.
game,
that was,
boys.
that was, that was very well done by EXP.
EX gave it a fucking big shot, boys.